The arrival. The vast expanse of space had always captivated humanity, its endless possibilities both thrilling and terrifying. But on that fateful day in 2157, the universe suddenly felt a whole lot smaller. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood frozen in the control room of the lunar observatory, her eyes fixed on the holographic display before her. The readings were unmistakable. An enormous object had just entered the solar system, decelerating rapidly as it approached Mars. "This can't be right," muttered her colleague, Dr. James Chen, furiously tapping at his console. "The mass readings are off the charts. If this is real, we're looking at a ship larger than anything humanity has ever constructed." Elena's mind raced. Years of SETI research had prepared her for the possibility of first contact, but the reality of it was overwhelming. "Alert the United Earth government," she said, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. "We need to prepare for their arrival." As the alert went out, the mysterious vessel continued its approach. World leaders scrambled to convene an emergency session, military forces were put on high alert, and civilians around the globe watched the skies with a mixture of fear and anticipation. 3 days later, the alien ship entered Earth orbit. Its size defied comprehension, a colossal structure of gleaming metal and pulsing energy fields that dwarfed the International Space Station. As humanity held its collective breath, a transmission was received on all frequencies in perfect English. "People of Earth, we come in peace. We are representatives of the Galactic Hegemony, a coalition of advanced civilizations spanning this sector of the galaxy. We have been observing your world for some time and believe you are ready to join our community. Prepared to receive our emissaries." The message was met with a cacophony of reactions: joy, fear, skepticism, and everything in between. But there was little time to process the emotions as events unfolded at a dizzying pace. Within hours, a sleek shuttle departed from the massive ship, descending towards the United Nations headquarters in New York. Global media broadcast the landing live, capturing a moment when the shuttle's doors opened to reveal the first extraterrestrial beings humanity had ever encountered. The aliens, calling themselves the Zarkesh, were a sight to behold. Tall, slender humanoids with iridescent skin and large, almond-shaped eyes, they moved with an otherworldly grace. Their leader, introduced as High Emissary Senra, addressed the hastily assembled delegation of world leaders. "Esteemed humans," Senra began, her voice melodious and calming, "we welcome you to the galactic community. The hegemony has watched your species' rapid advancement with great interest. Your potential is undeniable, and we believe that with our guidance, you can take your rightful place among the stars." As Senra spoke of the wonders of galactic civilization, faster-than-light travel, energy sources beyond human comprehension, and medical technologies that could extend lifespans indefinitely, many were enthralled. The promise of a golden age for humanity was intoxicating. But not everyone was convinced. Among the skeptics was General Sarah Donovan, head of United Earth Defense. As she listened to Xenra's grand promises, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. "And what does the hegemony expect in return for these gifts?" Donovan asked, her voice cutting through the awed silence that had fallen over the assembly. Senra's smile never wavered. "Merely your cooperation and allegiance, General. The hegemony operates on principles of mutual benefit. We ask only that you accept our leadership in matters of galactic importance, and in return, we will shepherd your species to greatness." The negotiations continued for days, with Earth's leaders debating the merits and risks of joining the galactic hegemony. Public opinion was divided, with many eager to embrace the advanced alien civilization, while others warned of the potential loss of human autonomy. As the discussions wore on, Dr. Elena Rodriguez found herself unexpectedly at the center of it all. Her expertise in xenobiology made her invaluable in understanding the Zarkesh and their technology. Working closely with the aliens, she was amazed by their advanced knowledge but couldn't help noticing certain inconsistencies in their behavior. One evening, As Elena was reviewing some Zarkesh biological data in her makeshift lab near the UN, she received an unexpected visitor. General Donovan entered, her face grave. "Doctor, I need your honest assessment," Donovan said without preamble. "Do you trust the Zarkesh?" Elena hesitated, weighing her words carefully. Their technology is incredible, beyond anything we've dreamed of. But there's something they're not telling us. Their explanations of how certain systems work don't always add up, and I've noticed they're very careful about what information they share. Donovan nodded, unsurprised. "I've had the same feeling. My sources have picked up chatter from the Zarkesh ship. It seems not all members of the hegemony are as benevolent as they'd have us believe. There are factions that see us as little more than a resource to be exploited." The revelation sent a chill down Elena's spine. What can we do? Most of the world's leaders seem ready to sign whatever agreement the Zarkesh put in front of them. "We need proof," Donovan replied, her eyes glinting with determination. "Hard evidence of their true intentions. And for that, we need to get aboard their ship." As they began to formulate a daring plan, neither Elena nor Donovan could have imagined the chain of events they were about to set in motion. Events that would not only change the fate of humanity, but shake the very foundations of the galactic hegemony itself. Across the globe, humans from all walks of life grappled with the reality of their new place in the universe. In research labs, scientists worked feverishly to understand the principles behind Zarkesh technology. In homes and public spaces, people debated the wisdom of aligning with an alien civilization they knew so little about. Meanwhile, aboard the Zarkesh ship, High Emissary Xenra engaged in a private communication with the hegemony's central command. "The humans are proceeding exactly as anticipated," she reported. "Their division works to our advantage. Soon, they will have no choice but to accept our terms." Her superior's response was cold and calculating. "Excellent. Ensure that they remain unaware of their true value. The energy potential of their world must be secured before they realize what they possess." As the first part of this cosmic drama drew to a close, the stage was set for a conflict that would test the limits of human ingenuity and determination. The galactic hegemony believed they had encountered a naive, easily manipulated species. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. The whisper of resistance. The gleaming spires of New Shanghai pierced the morning mist, a testament to humanity's resilience in the face of rapid change. In the 3 months since the Zarkesh arrival, Earth had transformed. Alien technology meshed with human innovation, creating a world that straddled two civilizations. Amidst this new landscape, Zara Chen navigated her hoverbike through crowded streets. At first glance, she appeared to be just another courier, her nanofiber suit bearing the logo of Global Delivery Services, but appearances could be deceiving. Zara's true mission lay hidden within the innocuous package strapped to her back, a quantum-encrypted data core containing humanity's most closely guarded secrets. She was a member of Terran Dawn, a clandestine organization formed in the wake of the Zarkesh arrival. As she wove through traffic, Zara's augmented reality display flickered with a warning. 3 Zarkesh peacekeepers were approaching, their sleek vehicles standing out among the human transports. "Courier Chen 7219, halt for routine inspection," the mechanical voice of a peacekeeper droned. Zara's heart raced, but her face remained impassive. She'd trained for this. "Certainly, officers," she replied, guiding her bike to a nearby platform. The lead peacekeeper, a towering Zarkesh with silver-flecked skin, approached. His multifaceted eyes scanned Zara and her vehicle. "Your cargo, please." With practiced ease, Zara unstrapped the package and handed it over. The peacekeeper ran a scanner over it, frowning as the device emitted a series of confused beeps. "Is there a problem, officer?" Zara asked, her voice a perfect blend of confusion and respect. The Zarkesh's eyes narrowed. "This package, its contents are shielded from our scans." Zara feigned surprise. "Really? That's strange. It's just a standard delivery of nanofabric samples for the new Milan fashion district." Perhaps your scanner is malfunctioning. For a tense moment, the peacekeeper studied her. Then, unexpectedly, he handed the package back. You may proceed, Courier Chen 7219, but be advised, all cargo must be scannable in the future. This is your only warning. As Zara sped away, she allowed herself a small smile. The quantum shielding developed by Terran Dawn's scientists had worked. The Zarkesh's overconfidence in their technology had played right into human hands. Across the city, in a nondescript office building, Dr. Elena Rodriguez pored over holographic displays filled with Zarkesh data. Her role as Earth's leading xenobiologist had granted her unprecedented access to alien technology, access she was now using to uncover the hegemony's true intentions. "Elena, you need to see this," called out James Chen, her longtime colleague and fellow Terran Dawn member. Elena hurried over, her eyes widening as she took in the display. "Is this what I think it is?" James nodded grimly. "It's a map of Earth's ley lines, the planetary energy grid the ancients once talked about. But this is on a whole other level. The Zarkesh have mapped energy patterns we never knew existed. And look at these power readings," Elena murmured, her finger tracing a pulsing line of data. "If this is accurate, Earth isn't just a habitable planet. It's a powerhouse of some kind of energy the Zarkesh call quintessence." Their discovery was interrupted by a priority alert. General Sarah Donovan's face appeared on a secure holo channel. "We've got a situation. The Hegemony Council is calling for an emergency session. Our sources say they're planning to accelerate the integration process." Elena's mind raced. They must have realized we're onto them. We need more time. "Time we don't have," Donovan replied. "But we do have a wild card. Remember that rogue Zarkesh scientist who contacted us? Vexilor. He's offering to help." The mention of Vexilor sent a ripple of unease through the room. The Zarkesh outcast had reached out to Terran Dawn weeks ago, claiming to have vital information about the hegemony's true nature. But trusting an alien, even a dissident one, was a risk. "What's he offering?" James asked skeptically. "Access codes to the hegemony's central database," Donovan answered. "If they're genuine, we could blow this whole thing wide open. But there's a catch. He'll only hand them over in person. On Mars." Elena and James exchanged glances. A mission to Mars, right under the hegemony's nose, was beyond dangerous. But the potential payoff... "I'll go," Elena said, her voice firm. "I know Zarkesh biology better than anyone. If Vexilor tries anything, I'll have the best chance of counteracting it." Donovan nodded. "I thought you'd say that. We've got a stealth shuttle prepped and waiting. You leave in 3 hours. And Elena, be careful. If we're right about Earth's importance to the hegemony, they'll stop at nothing to keep it under their control." As Elena prepared for her mission, events were unfolding in the upper echelons of the galactic hegemony that would change everything. Aboard the massive hegemony capital ship in Earth orbit, High Emissary, Senra faced the harsh glare of the Council's holo projections. "Emissary Senra, your reports have been troubling," intoned Arch-Councillor Zinkar, his ancient face etched with disapproval. "The humans are proving more resourceful than anticipated. Perhaps we underestimated them." Senra bowed her head. "A momentary setback, Arch-Councillor. I assure you, Earth will be fully integrated on schedule. The humans' paltry attempts at resistance are insignificant. See that they remain so," Zinkar warned. "The energy potential of Earth is too valuable to lose. If the humans cannot be coerced, more direct methods may be necessary." As the Council's projections faded, Senra allowed a rare moment of doubt to cross her face. The humans were indeed proving to be full of surprises, but she had no intention of failing. Earth would be brought into the hegemony, willing or not. Little did Senra know, her own people were not as united as she believed. Deep within the bowels of the capital ship, a small group of Zarkesh dissidents met in secret. Led by the enigmatic Vexilor, they represented a growing faction within the hegemony who questioned the ethics of their civilization's expansionist policies. The humans must be warned, Vexilor insisted, his bioluminescent markings pulsing with urgency. If the hegemony succeeds in tapping Earth's quintessence, it won't just mean subjugation for humanity. It could destabilize the entire planet. His compatriots murmured in agreement. They had all seen the devastating effects of unchecked quintessence extraction on other worlds. Earth, with its unusually potent energy field, could suffer a fate far worse. As the dissident Zarkesh plotted and Elena prepared for her dangerous mission to Mars, the people of Earth continued about their daily lives, largely unaware of the cosmic drama unfolding around them. The hegemony's propaganda machine worked overtime, painting a picture of a glorious future among the stars. But in hidden labs, secret meetings, and encrypted communications, the seeds of resistance were taking root. Humanity, with its unique blend of ingenuity, determination, and unpredictability, was about to show the galaxy why it should never be underestimated. The stage was set for a confrontation that would determine not just the fate of Earth, but the very nature of galactic civilization itself. As Elena's stealth shuttle broke atmosphere, heading for the red plains of Mars, the future hung in the balance. A future that would be shaped by the choices of humans and aliens alike in the crucible of conflict to come. The Martian Gambit. The rusty plains of Mars stretched out beneath Elena's stealth shuttle, a desolate landscape that belied the planet's newfound importance. In the months since first contact, Mars had been transformed into a bustling hub of human-Zarkesh cooperation, or so the official narrative claimed. As Elena guided her craft towards the coordinates Vexilor had provided, she activated a prototype cloaking device. The shuttle's exterior shimmered, its nanoparticle coating refracting light to match the Martian terrain below. It was the latest breakthrough from Terran Dawn's skunkworks, untested in the field until now. Control. This is Stardust, Elena subvocalized, her neural implant transmitting directly to Earth. Approaching the rendezvous point, no sign of hegemony patrols. General Donovan's voice crackled in her mind. Copy that, Stardust. Remember, we're flying blind here. Trust your instincts, but be prepared for anything. As Elena brought the shuttle down in a secluded canyon, she spotted a shimmer in the air, a telltale sign of another cloaked vessel. Her heart raced as a figure emerged, tall and willowy, unmistakably Zarkesh, but somehow different from any she'd seen before. Vexilor's skin was a tapestry of bioluminescent patterns, shifting and pulsing in complex rhythms. His eyes, rather than the usual Zarkesh silver, swirled with an array of colors that seemed to peer into Elena's very soul. Dr. Rodriguez, Vexilor's voice resonated in her mind, bypassing spoken language entirely. I am gratified by your trust. We have much to discuss and precious little time. Elena steeled herself, fighting the disorientation of the alien's telepathic communication. The access codes, Vexilor. We had a deal. The Zarkesh's expression shifted, his bioluminescence dimming slightly. The codes are but a small part of what you need to know. The hegemony's plans for Earth go far beyond mere conquest or resource extraction. Before Elena could respond, a piercing alarm shattered the Martian's silence. Proximity warnings blared from both their ships. We've been discovered. Vexilor's mental voice was tinged with panic. Quickly, into my ship. It's our only chance. Elena hesitated for a split second before making a decision that would alter the course of history. She sprinted towards Vexilor's craft, a sleek vessel that seemed to bend the very light around it. As they lifted off, the sky erupted with plasma fire. Hegemony warships, far larger and more numerous than anything officially stationed on Mars, bore down on them. Hold on, Vexilor commanded, his hands dancing over controls that seemed to respond to thought as much as touch. The ship lurched, and suddenly the Martian landscape blurred around them. Elena gasped as impossible vistas flashed by, the rings of Saturn, the swirling storms of Jupiter, the icy plains of Pluto. What is this? Quantum slipstreaming, Vexilor explained, his mental voice strained with concentration. a technology the hegemony keeps strictly for itself. This ship is special. As they hurtled through space at speeds Elena's mind could barely comprehend, Vexilor began to reveal the true nature of the galactic hegemony and humanity's unique place in the cosmic order. Your Earth is not just another world to be added to the hegemony's collection, Vexilor explained. It is a nexus point, a confluence of energies that exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. The quintessence your planet produces is not just powerful, it's reality-altering. Elena's scientific mind reeled at the implications. Are you saying Earth can change the fundamental nature of the universe? Vexilor's colors pulsed in affirmation. In the right hands, yes, which is why the hegemony will stop at nothing to control it. But there's more. Humans themselves are different. Before he could elaborate, their ship shuddered violently. A massive hegemony dreadnought had appeared directly in their path, its weapons primed and ready. Renegade Vexilor, a booming voice filled the ship. By order of High Emissary Tsenra, surrender immediately or face obliteration. Vexilor's hands flew over the controls, but it was clear they were outmatched. As Elena braced for the worst, a blinding light engulfed their ship. When her vision cleared, Elena found herself not in the cold vacuum of space, but in a vast chamber unlike anything she'd ever seen. Living crystal pulsed with energy all around them, and hovering in the center was a being of pure light. Welcome, Elena Rodriguez of Earth and Vexilor of the Zarkesh. The being's voice seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. We are the Guardians, and we have waited eons for this moment. As the Lena and Vexilor stood in awe, the Guardian began to reveal a truth so profound it would shake the foundations of every civilization in the galaxy. Humanity is not just another species, the Guardian explained, its form shifting and swirling. You are the descendants of our own kind, seeded on Earth eons ago as part of a grand experiment. Your potential is limitless, but it was crucial that you develop naturally, without interference. The chamber filled with holographic images, ancient humanoid beings spreading across the stars, terrible wars that reshaped galaxies, and finally, a desperate plan to preserve their legacy. The hegemony, Vexilor breathed, his bioluminescence pulsing with shock. They're not the true power in the galaxy. They're just caretakers. The Guardian's light dimmed slightly. Caretakers who have forgotten their true purpose. The hegemony was meant to guide and protect developing worlds, not exploit them. But over millennia, they lost their way. Elena's mind raced with the implications. So Earth, our quintessence, is the key to awakening humanity's true potential, the Guardian finished. But if harnessed incorrectly, it could tear the very fabric of space-time apart. The hegemony must be stopped, but simply defeating them is not enough. Humanity must be ready to take its place as guardians of the galaxy. As Elena and Vexilor grappled with this earth-shattering revelation, alarms blared throughout the crystal chamber. The Guardian's form flickered urgently. The hegemony approaches. We've hidden this sanctuary for eons, but we cannot withstand a direct assault. You must return to Earth, rally your people. The next phase of the great experiment begins now. With a gesture, the Guardian opened a swirling portal. This will return you to Earth, but be warned. The path ahead is fraught with danger. The fate of not just your world, but countless others, rests in your hands. As Elena and Vexilor stepped towards the portal, the full weight of their newfound knowledge and responsibility settled upon them. The battle for Earth was no longer just about independence or resources, it was about the very future of the cosmos itself. With a final surge of light, the Guardian sent them hurtling back towards a world on the brink of transformation. The galactic hegemony had indeed made its greatest error in underestimating humanity, but the true test was yet to come. Quantum insurgency. The portal's swirling energies dissipated, leaving Elena and Vexilor stumbling onto the polished floors of Terran Dawn's hidden base. But the scene that greeted them was far from the organized resistance they'd left behind. Alarms blared as holographic displays flickered with chaotic data streams. The air crackled with an energy that made Elena's hair stand on end, and most shockingly, some of the human personnel seemed to be shifting, their forms blurring at the edges as if they existed in multiple states simultaneously. What in the name of Einstein? Elena gasped, her scientific mind struggling to process the impossible sights before her. General Donovan materialized from the chaos, her usually stoic demeanor cracked with urgency. Rodriguez, thank God you're back. Something's gone terribly wrong. The hegemony, they've started harvesting Earth's quintessence, but it's having unforeseen effects on our reality. Vexillo's bioluminescent patterns pulsed with alarm. It's worse than we feared. They're tapping into the quantum substrate of your world without proper stabilization. The barriers between realities are breaking down. As if to punctuate his words, a nearby technician suddenly split into 3 identical versions of himself, each moving independently before snapping back into a single form. The man barely seemed to notice, too focused on the cascading errors on his screen. We need to shut down their extraction operations, Elena declared, her mind racing with the knowledge imparted by the Guardians. But first, we need to stabilize our own people. Vexler, can your biological quantum state help us? The Zarkesh nodded, his form seeming to ripple with potential energy. I can attune myself to your planet's unique quantum frequency. It might create a stabilizing field, at least temporarily. As Vexilor began to pulse with an otherworldly light, Elena turned to Donovan. General, we've learned the truth about humanity's origins and potential. We're not just fighting for independence anymore. The entire cosmic order is at stake. Donovan's eyes widened as Elena gave her a rapid-fire summary of the Guardian's revelations. So we're some kind of chosen ones, destined to be galactic protectors. More like cosmic wildcards, Elena corrected. Our potential is uncharted, which is exactly why the hegemony fears us. A tremor shook the base, and new alarms blared to life. James Chen's voice crackled over the comms, tight with tension. We've got a bigger problem. The hegemony's launched a full-scale invasion, but these aren't normal troops. They're using some kind of quantum-phased soldiers. Our weapons barely slow them down. Elena's mind raced, piecing together everything she'd learned. They're trying to match our quantum potential, but without our innate connection to Earth's energy, they're just fumbling in the dark. We can use that against them. She turned to the assembled Terran Dawn operatives, her voice ringing with newfound authority. Listen up. We're about to attempt something never before seen in human history. We're going to weaponize our own quantum potential. Over the next frantic hours, Elena and Vexilor worked to unlock the latent abilities hidden within human DNA. They discovered that with the right attunement, humans could tap into the same reality-warping energies the hegemony sought to control. Zara Chen, the courier who had once smuggled data cores, now found herself facing through solid matter. James developed the ability to perceive probable futures, coordinating strike teams with uncanny precision. And Elena herself discovered that she could manipulate the fundamental forces of nature, albeit on a small scale. As the hegemony forces breached the outer defenses of major cities, humanity launched its counterattack. What the aliens expected to be a swift conquest turned into a mind-bending guerrilla war. In the streets of New Shanghai, Zara led a team of phase shifters, ambushing hegemony troops from within walls and floors. In London, reality itself seemed to ripple and twist as human defenders warped probability fields to their advantage. But the true game-changer came when Elena and Vexilor managed to reactivate an ancient Guardian outpost hidden beneath the Antarctic ice. The massive structure hummed to life, projecting a quantum field that supercharged human abilities across the globe. High above the Earth, aboard her flagship, High Emissary Senra watched in growing horror as her invasion force was decimated by powers she could barely comprehend. Impossible, she hissed, her composed facade crumbling. They're just primitives. How can they be doing this? A subordinate approached, his form flickering with quantum interference. Emissary, we're detecting a massive energy buildup in Earth's core. If the humans fully awaken their world's power, we won't be able to contain it. Senra's eyes narrowed. She had not come this far to be defeated by upstart apes with delusions of grandeur. Prepare the void engine, she commanded. If we cannot have this world's power, we will unmake it entirely. As the hegemony's doomsday weapon powered up, a new player entered the cosmic game. In orbit around Jupiter, a massive interdimensional rift tore open reality itself. From it emerged a fleet of crystalline ships, pulsing with the same energy Elena had witnessed in the Guardian's sanctuary. A voice echoed across all frequencies in all minds. Children of Earth, your trial by fire nears its end. The Guardians have returned. The great experiment enters its final phase. As humanity pushed back against the hegemony invasion with their newfound powers, and cosmic forces beyond imagination converged on the solar system, one thing became crystal clear: the universe would never be the same again. The battle for Earth had become a battle for the very nature of reality itself, and at the center of it all stood humanity, no longer underestimated, but now the linchpin upon which the fate of countless worlds and dimensions hung in the balance. Chronos unbound. The arrival of the Guardian fleet should have been a moment of triumph, but as the crystalline ships entered Earth's orbit, something unprecedented occurred. Time itself began to fracture. Elena, standing atop the Antarctic outpost, watched in awe and horror as temporal rifts tore open across the sky. Through these shimmering portals, she glimpsed alternate Earths, some ravaged by hegemony rule, others where humanity had reached the stars centuries ago. The void engine, Vexor's voice resonated in her mind, tinged with panic. It's not just a weapon, it's unraveling the temporal constants of your world. Before Elena could respond, a figure stepped out of thin air beside her, an older version of herself, bearing scars and cybernetic implants. No time to explain, the elder Elena said urgently. The Guardians aren't what they seem. Trust no one but yourself, quite literally. With that cryptic warning, her future self vanished, leaving behind a small device that pulsed with chronometric energy. Across the globe, similar scenes of temporal chaos unfolded. In the ruins of New York, General Donovan found herself fighting alongside soldiers from World War II against futuristic hegemony mechs. In Beijing, ancient terracotta warriors rose from the earth to battle quantum-phased aliens. The laws of physics buckled under the strain of colliding timelines. Gravity fluctuated wildly, causing buildings to float one moment and crumble under their own weight the next. In some areas, evolution ran in reverse, with people de-aging into primitive hominids. Aboard the hegemony flagship, High Emissary, Senra watched the chaos with a mix of fascination and terror. The humans, she murmured. They're adapting to the temporal flux. How is this possible? Her musings were interrupted as a section of her ship phased out of existence, replaced by a sprawling jungle. A Tyrannosaurus Rex lumbered through the corridor, snapping at fleeing crew members. Back on Earth, Elena raced to make sense of the device left by her future self. With Vexor's help, she deciphered its purpose: a chronometric anchor, capable of stabilizing a small area against the time distortions. We need to get this to the planet's core, Elena realized. It's the only way to reset Earth's temporal field. But reaching the core seemed impossible amidst the chaos. That's when Zara Chen phased into view, her body flickering between different ages. I can get us there, she said, her voice echoing strangely. My facing abilities, they're evolving. I can move through time as well as space now. As Elena, Vexor, and Zara prepared for their desperate mission, a new complication arose. The Guardian fleet, rather than helping, began to splinter. Some ships attacked the hegemony, while others turned their weapons on Earth. The Guardians, Vexor's colors pulsed with realization. They're not a unified force. They're factions from different points in their own timeline, each with their own agenda for Earth. Elena's mind raced. The warnings from her future self, the Guardians' contradictory actions, it all pointed to a truth more complex than they'd imagined. Humanity wasn't just an experiment, they were the linchpin in a time war that spanned eons. As the trio phased through layers of rock and magma, navigating treacherous time streams, the battle above took on cosmic proportions. Guardian factions from the far future clashed with their past selves, each trying to shape Earth's destiny. The hegemony, caught in the crossfire, began to fragment. Some ships were erased from existence, while others evolved into bizarre biomechanical entities. Senra herself underwent a startling transformation, her body incorporating the Void Engine's energies until she became a being of pure temporal potential. In the planet's core, Elena, Vexilor, and Zara fought against the very fabric of spacetime to plant the chronometric anchor. As Elena activated the device, she felt a connection to every version of herself across the multiverse. In that moment of quantum superposition, she glimpsed the true nature of reality and humanity's pivotal role in it. The anchor pulsed, sending out waves of stabilizing energy. Slowly, agonizingly, Earth's timeline began to reckonet itself, but the process was far from over. As the temporal maelstrom subsided, Elena found herself standing not on Earth, but on a vast plain of shifting crystal. Before her stood representatives of the various Guardian factions, the hegemony, and countless other cosmic powers. Elizabeth Rodriguez, a chorus of voices addressed her, using a name she somehow knew was hers across all timelines. You stand at the nexus of all possibilities. The fate of not just Earth, but of the entire multiversal tapestry hangs in the balance. What future will you choose? Elena realized that this moment, this choice, was the culmination of the grand experiment. Humanity, with its unique ability to adapt and reshape reality, would decide the course of cosmic evolution. As she pondered her response, weighing the infinite possibilities, Elena knew that whatever she chose would redefine the very nature of existence. The galactic hegemony's greatest error hadn't just been underestimating humanity. It had been failing to recognize that humans were the architects of a new cosmic order. With a deep breath, Elena prepared to make a decision that would echo across all of space and time. The next chapter in the story of the universe was about to be written, the Metaversal Symphony. Elena stood at the crux of all realities, the weight of infinite possibilities pressing upon her. But as she prepared to make her choice, something unexpected happened. She began to laugh. The assembled cosmic entities, guardians, hegemony remnants, and beings beyond description, recoiled in confusion. Elena's laughter echoed across the crystalline plane, reverberating through dimensions. You still don't get it, do you? Elena said, wiping tears from her eyes. This isn't about choosing a single future, it's about embracing all of them. With that declaration, Elena did something unprecedented. She reached into the very fabric of reality itself and began to weave. Strands of possibility flowed through her fingers like gossamer threads, each one a potential timeline. As she worked, the nature of existence itself began to shift. The boundaries between parallel universes grew permeable. Cause and effect became suggestions rather than laws. And at the center of it all was humanity, acting as cosmic conductors in a grand metaversal symphony. Vexilor, who had followed Elena into this realm beyond realms, watched in awe as his own being began to fragment and reconnect across multiple states of existence. What are you doing? He asked, his voice echoing across probability spaces. Creating harmony, Elena replied, her form now a kaleidoscope of possibilities. For too long, the multiverse has been a cacophony of competing timelines. We're going to synchronize them. As Elena's vision took shape, remarkable things began to occur across all realities. In one timeline, the hegemony and humanity formed a symbiotic alliance, their combined knowledge unlocking the secrets of consciousness itself. Another branch saw Earth become a living computer, its biosphere evolving into a planet-wide quantum network that stored the sum of all possible knowledge. Yet another possibility unfolded where humanity transcended physical form entirely, becoming beings of pure thought that danced between the stars. There was even a reality where the entire universe was revealed to be a simulation, and humans learned to rewrite the code of existence itself. But these weren't separate, isolated outcomes. Under Elena's guidance, they became interconnected movements in a grand cosmic fugue. The Guardians, realizing the true potential of that ancient experiment, began to merge with their alternate selves. They evolved into a singular multidimensional entity that existed to nurture creativity across all realities. Senra, once the face of hegemony oppression, found herself reborn as a nexus of cross-temporal diplomacy, her unique perspective vital in navigating the new metaversal political landscape. Zora's time-facing abilities expanded exponentially. She became a living bridge between epochs, ensuring the smooth flow of knowledge and culture across the temporal spectrum. As for Earth, it was no longer just a planet. It became a seed crystal for new universes, constantly spawning realities that added their unique melodies to the ever-growing symphony of existence. But Elena's masterpiece had an even grander design. As the new metaversal structure stabilized, she realized that this wasn't just about humanity or even this particular multiversal cluster. They were composing the opening notes of a song that would spread across the entire omniverse. "Don't you see?" Elena said, addressing not just her immediate audience, but all sentient beings across all possible worlds. "We're not choosing a future, we're becoming the future. Every thought, every decision, every dream, they're all instruments in this grand composition." As her words resonated across dimensions, something miraculous happened. Beings from realities far beyond their own began to take notice. Entities made of dark matter, civilizations existing in higher dimensions, even abstract conceptual beings, all turned their attention to this new cosmic paradigm. The barriers between levels of existence began to blur. Ideas became living things, thoughts gained mass, and the very concept of reality expanded to encompass infinite layers of abstraction. Humanity, in all its myriad forms across the metaverse, found itself at the heart of this new cosmic order, not as rulers or chosen ones, but as collaborators in the greatest creative endeavor imaginable, the continuous reinvention of existence itself. As the new metaversal symphony reached its first crescendo, Elena turned to Vexilor, her form now a swirling nexus of possibilities. "Still think we were underestimated?" she asked with a smile that spanned realities. Vexilor, his own being now a beautiful abstraction of quantum potentials, could only respond with a burst of awe-struck bioluminescence that painted new constellations across the sky of 1 billion worlds. The story of the galactic hegemony's gravest era was over. But the tale of the metaversal symphony had just begun, its music destined to play on for eternity, with each new note adding to the infinite complexity and beauty of all that ever was, is, or could be. In the end, humanity's greatest strength wasn't military might or technological prowess. It was the ability to imagine, and then create, realities beyond imagination. And in doing so, they had not just changed the game, they had transformed the very nature of existence itself.